welcome to the English Wine Project. I'm Fraser, and today we're drinking Hambledon Classic Cuvée. Now, Hambledon was planted in 1952 by Major General Sir Guy Salisbury Jones. He'd spent time in France, become friends with Frazer, and then when he returned to England, he planted a vineyard in his house near the famous cricketing town of Hambledon. But modern Hambledon really begins in the 90s, when this vineyard was bought, and in the early 2000s, those vineyards were replanted with Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Pinot Meunier. You know where this is going? Their aim to produce a consistent, year-on-year, world-class sparkling wine. So this is designed to be an aperitif, make you salivate, make you want to eat, make you want to drink some more. So let's put it in the glass. Really fine bubbles, tight mousse, really golden. Let's have a smell. That's different. Yeah, this needs a chair. No, seriously, this is a sit-down wine. So let's work out what's going on here. So Hambledon built this wine from a huge library of reserves going back years. Each parcel of vineyard is separated into individual grapes and pressed independently. You get a first press and a second press. And actually at Hambledon, they split it into three. But they've got the Cuvée, the earlier cleaner press, and the Thai, the last press. That has a lot of the roundness in it. But those three cuts are fermented into still wines on their own, from each vineyard, from each grape. That is a huge selection of wines to put into the final product. So every year, a master blender from Champagne comes, and using his tasting memory, he creates the same cuvée year on year. Slightly different blend each year, but it tastes and smells the same. And that is how you end up with something like this, structured and savory, a bit different to what you'd expect. Now, who am I kidding? It's totally different. Let's have another look at the glass. So we've got really fine, small bubbles. That's a well-crafted wine. But look at the color of this. This is so golden and dark and rich. I've not had a wine like this so far. There's much more weight here and gravitas. So let's have a smell. Oh, there's a nice strong yeasty note there, but there's something more, there's something savory. I'm getting like a white pepper, a peppered salami. It's very savory, it's very rich smelling, and it's very different. So let's have a taste. So it's got that high acidity. There's almost a hint of chocolate in there. That's very interesting. That texture you get when chocolate melts in your mouth, that is what you get at the end of that. You get a shot of acidity. It makes you salivate. That's the aperitif style, but it gives you that richness and that cream, but it's not cream, it's melting chocolate that I just wasn't expecting. And then, oh my word, do those savory notes come through. It's like a charcuterie board. It's not fresh apple, it's not ripe, it's not rosy, it's not red, it's meaty, it's strong, it's dense. When I first tasted this, I thought, what the hell is going on? And now I'm sitting here tasting it, I'm thinking, what the hell is going on? But I really like it. This is a wine to sit back in an armchair with. There's a real umami note to it, like a cheese or like a mushroom. It's a really, really rich, dark kind of wine. It's very different to any of the other classic cuvées we've had. So we're gonna have to score it. So from a visual point of view, this glass is ridiculous. It's so rich, it's so dark, it's so golden. It's got so much more character and concentration than anything else I've had so far. It's getting a 4. On the nose, it's got a real richness, roundness, and it's a surprise. Now that is where its problem is. If you're buying an English sparkling wine, you're expecting something, and this isn't quite giving you that, so it's gonna get a 3. And on the taste, it's a tough one. This isn't an easy, pleasing, sit and have a few glasses kind of wine. But if you give me a glass and say, Fraser, enjoy that, study it, you know what? It's a really, really interesting glass. And the interest is gonna push it up to 3.5, even if the immediate flavor would have it a bit lower. And then do I want another glass? Well, the answer to that is no. I don't want another glass. I want this glass and an hour and a friend to talk to about it. And that's really difficult. I don't want another glass, and that means it gets a 2, but oh my God, is this an interesting wine. So that gives Hambledon 12.5. Let's see where that is on the scoreboard. So with it scoring 12.5, It's only just coming above Chapeldown. It's coming below Bolney Estate. It's quite low down on the rankings there. Now, I think Hambledon's been done harshly here. I think it's a really interesting, intriguing wine, but it just doesn't match up to my palate in the way that the others do. It's intriguing, it's masterful, but it's a sit-down wine. You might not love this straight away, but you're gonna remember it. What are you still doing? If you like English wine, and you want to know more about English wine, and you want more tasting notes from English wine, like and subscribe. It'll all be here.